everybody, Jason, Pete, Hollis Farms. Headed over to Mississippi. We were supposed to be getting rain this morning, but it looks like a lot of it. I think we're still going to get some, but I think a lot of it's going to go around us. It's been cloudy, pretty cloudy the last few days, I'm trying to think. But anyway, I got 2 of my camera batteries that are low and not wanting to stream right, and with no sunshine they're not gonna last. So I'm hoping I got to get time to get down here and do that first thing this morning, swap the batteries out. Hoping it ain't raining down this way. It didn't look like it on the radar, but it may be. So, but while they was working last night, and one of them's still working, no hog action last night. So, but just in case, we gotta get these bad. No need in the traps being out if the batteries ain't going, and looking to make sure one comes in. But anyway, then we'll see what all else we get into. Ready? All right, got some battery. Had just a little bit of rain down here. Not just a bunch. Kind of settled the dust. There's a little bit standing right there where it run off the barn. Feels good. A little moisture in the ground. Alright, got a fresh battery in the panel trap. Clover's good, and that wheat's starting to come up too. See that row from that grain drill? A few little weeds in here. It's gonna be alright. Alright, got us another battery in. This is the main spot. Should have brought me a rake and got some of that old corn back up in there, but I believe we'll be alright. Sticky this morning. Don't do no more raining, they'll be alright. Alright, y'all, so I got the 2 batteries, fresh batteries put in there. Got them two batteries in the barn charging. I got my Matthews Monster with me today. I've had this thing, I bought this thing used a long time ago. It needs a new string, and I'm gonna put new strings and cables on them. They've got that over it. We're gonna go over to Owens Outfitters here in just a minute. This is the sight that was on it. It's you can dial it and adjust it right there to your yardage, 1 pin. I really like it. It's a really nice sight, but I just don't think it's what I want to use. So I ordered me a sight from Amazon. It's a Spot Hog sight, the Fast Eddy XL. They say these are some really good sights, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins in it. I think it'll be a lot better when you're sitting in a stand and got your rangefinder and your range, to just drop the pin on them instead of having to dial on this thing. So I'm gonna carry it over there and let them put the new string and cable on it, get my sight on there and get everything set up, and then we'll start shooting it a little bit to go along with the Mission Hammer. This is a pretty nice bow here. The Mission Hammer shoots really good, but when you pick something, even though this one's pretty old, and pick it up and shoot it, it is crazy how fast that thing is. Alright, y'all, so I made it over here to Starkville, dropped my bow off at Owens Outfitter. Slade wasn't there. He'll be back in a couple days, and maybe when we go back over there, we'll do a little filming and check the bow out. They do a really good job over there. Alright, so back in Alabama, I got my little Mission Hammer out. Been to shoot a couple of rounds. I've been shooting quite a bit, getting my shoulder and all back in shape. Feeling pretty confident. The bow is on. If I miss or make a bad shot, it will all be on me. Alright, so I've been practicing at some pretty long distances maybe that I probably won't shoot when I'm in the woods. But I think it makes you better at closer distance. This is my first round at 20. Pull just a little bit on that one. Them other three's pretty good. Alright, so here's what I'm doing now. I got my tree arm. This is the first tree arm I ever had. It came from, this is a muddy tree arm. Just a basic tree arm. And it'll extend from here out to here, but I still thought it was a little too short. So last year I took this piece of square tubing and made it longer, and I was making a little noise, so I took me some of these stealth strips just a minute ago and quietened that down. This camera here, it's a Sony Handycam. This is my second one I've had, but this was the first camera I ever had that I used every day was this Sony Handycam, and I have bought me some longer lasting batteries too, these bigger batteries. This thing does pretty good for the money. I mean, I can't remember, they're $250, maybe $300, but this thing, of course, it flips out. I mean, I got a pile of videos, just everyday videos that I did with this thing. And the other original one, it finally wore out. You can flip the screen out where you look at it, but right now, when you close it's supposed to close the shutter deal there when you cut it off, and that's wore out. Got these little whiskers on here. That's where the microphones are, and you can ride down the road pretty much with it out the window, and you won't hear the wind noise with them on there. But that used to be my main everyday camera, and it was my main everyday hunting camera, and it's so easy to fool with because it's so light. But this is the original tripod that I use, and it came from Sony also. It's a pretty handy little deal. Let me get it up here and I'll show y'all. But I got a lot of turkey hunts from this tripod. It's so light, I really like to use it the way I like to run and gun. But the neat part about this deal, I'm modifying it right now, but this remote deal fits on your handle for your tripod. And I thought this head came off of this tripod, but I hadn't got it off yet and figured it out. I don't want to tear it up. So what I did, because like when I'm turkey hunting, I could have this between my legs and just zoom, cut it on and off and everything right there, start and stop. It was just real handy. And when I deer hunted with it some last year, I had it on the tree arm right here, and I was having to do it on top right here like this, and then move it with this handle. So put me some Velcro on there. This remote plugs into the side of the camera right there, and then you can power everything up by this hand. It just makes it easier and smoother. So put me some Velcro on there. Of course, I hadn't hunted yet, but when I do, I believe this right here will hopefully get us by in the tree. I don't know. I may have to do a little more modifying. I don't know. But this right here is so handy. The way I'm planning on hunting, the quality is pretty doggone good. But this will be handy, and I like going lightweight. Now I've got my big camera. I'm going to show y'all that in a minute. And when I ordered it, I just got the turkey package from Campbell Cameras. And I had to order me a tree arm for the big camera the other day. And I'm going to try to use it. If I can get organized and get light enough with it, I'm going to use it a lot, because that camera is bad to the bone. Way too much camera for me. But this one I will use a lot. They're both good. They'll both be plenty of quality. I got to figure this handle out, the remote, a little better. And I'll use this one a lot. I'll use both of them. I'm going to get that. I'm going to play with this tripod a little bit more. If I can't, I don't think this head removes off of it. But anyway, this is what come on this camera. If I can figure out that this remote will stay good enough to do what we want to do, I'm not going to worry about it. But this is a neat little turkey hunting setup. It's just light, and it just works really good. The other setup I got with the new camera, I'm going to tell you, it's heavy trying to run around and hunt like we like to hunt, but the quality's good. But this is not bad for what we're doing. So I took my deal here and strapped her to the beam on the barn. The easiest way that I found to start your tree arm, it's hard to hold this right, put the strap on. So I'll take me a little small, like a bow hanger, looks like a little screw-in step, but it's real small. Screw it in first and then hang it on this. Then you can strap your bow arm, your tree arm for your camera on there. I'm thinking, like when I was, for instance, in a lock-on, have my back against the tree, I wanted this arm longer. But if we're going to hunt out of the tree saddle, we're going to be facing the tree this year. I may can take this extension off because we're just going to be right here at us. And I'm hoping this remote will stay right there. And of course, I'm on most of the time. If I'm videoing, I'm going to try to get it to where I'm videoing on my right side, because I have my bow hanging on my left side. It's tricky, I'm telling you, it is tricky filming and doing all this when you're hunting an animal that can spot you. So y'all bear with me on some of that. It's tricky. It's probably a lot easier if you had somebody filming you. But this is a pretty neat lightweight setup. Like I said, I think that thing will pivot up there at the tree too. I'm thinking that I might just do away with this arm, because it don't have to come around me no more. All I'm gonna have to, unless I have a deer sneak up behind me, if all I gotta do is get on one side of the tree or another, I may be okay with just the standard length. I may take it apart and play with that for a minute. Now's the time to kind of figure all that out. And you won't never figure it all out. There'll always be something go wrong in the woods. But this is a neat, cheap, little lightweight setup. And I don't have to use this, but I think it'll make for a better video. It's a lot easier to, and the thing I like about it is I can leave that open with the remote and reach up here and power it off. And then when the deer comes in, all I got to do is reach up here and power it on. This one's about wore out. It's getting slow. I'm going to end up having to have a new little camera before it's over with. But that just takes a lot of motion out of the picture when you don't have to open the window and all up there. Alright y'all, so here's what I decided to do. I took my extension that I made for the camera arm off, because if I'm going to be saddle hunting, like I said, we're going to be facing right here, and I'm going to have to learn where and how I'm going to put the camera, but I should be able to. And this thing right here extends. Let me see if I can get it out here with one hand. Let me cut this off. Like I said, this right here extends, and it will pivot right there. So it's not as smooth because it's where it's at. But I think saddle hunting, bow be hanging right here on the tree. Deer comes around, you can film him over there. I think it's just gonna, be more out of the way right here. And I'm not sure. I'm trying to get this thing, I got it tightened back up. I'm gonna get it slid back in. I'm not sure for most of your saddle hunting facing the tree. Of course, that's gonna stay locked down and dug in a tree. I need to ratchet that. Alright, now I think I got her locked down, but like I'm gonna be pretty close to the tree right here. That's arm lengths right here. My bow's right there. I'm not sure. A lot of times, if we got our bow hanging over here and a deer, we're gonna shoot them over here to our left side. I don't want it that long, so I'm gonna be good right there. And if he happens to come around, see how that swings right across there? I may need to put a little tape there. I think I could be quiet though. And if he comes around to this side of the tree, I gotta learn how high and low I want it to be and all that stuff. Because when I missed that deer, first time I ever hunted out of saddle last year, I had the camera up kind of high and I had to shoot around it. So it's going to take some practice, but I like this little setup with this little camera. It's just so this will be our stealth mode deal. But I'm gonna get my big camera out here in just a second, and I got a new tree arm for it. It's about too fancy for me, but I'm gonna get it out and we'll show y'all. All right, so here's my newest addition to my hunting arsenal. This is for my big camera, the Muddy Outfitter camera arm. It's kind of a little bit bigger than the other one. It has to be the right spot, right situation. This is my tripod that came with the big camera. I'll show y'all the big camera in a minute for those of y'all who hadn't seen it. This dude right here is pretty heavy to run around all day with turkey hunting, but it is some good quality. Depending on the situation, I like having both now. And this head, I didn't know it till I called the guys. This came from Campbell Cameras, I believe. That guy was very helpful. I didn't realize this head came off, and I thought it did, but I didn't know how to get it off. He told me how to get that off. So this head will come off and go on this camera arm, and then this is the camera. I mean, this thing's pretty big and bulky. Filming and hunting, self-filming, it's pretty tough. This is the Canon XA1. I mean, this thing will do some kind of video, and it's got the infrared on it. I like that for certain times. Of course, it's got the big microphone on it and the wind whiskers on it where you can't hear the wind. This dude's fancy. It took me a while to figure this unit out. The cool thing about this head is it got the remote that goes on here already, just like the other one, but you can add it on. It's just more made for what we're going to do. But we'll get by with the other one when kind of a situation if we have to walk a long way. This will be a setup we'll use some, but it just kind of depends. I get used to it and get the right backpack where I can haul everything and not tear everything up. But I'm fixing to get my new camera arm out, hang it on the post again. We're going to see how all this works, because I hadn't done this yet. This is still sitting on here from turkey season. All right, this dude right here, I got to remember to put this up. Let me put this back on the bed so I don't want to lose this extension in case we need it. May keep that in our backpack if we need it. This thing right here, their Outfitter series, is going to be rock solid. 2 parts right there that hook to the tree, and this ratchet trap's made. It's got just little loops that goes over this button here. Loop one side and then loop your ratchet side and ratchet her down. And it's got all kind of adjustments. You can level it, and that's bringing her down, and go up with it. I think this thing right here it'll twist. All right, I'm gonna lock her down in the center. I hadn't fooled with that. I need to do that. All right, but anyway, this right here is so you can. This will be a lot easier. I think it'll be a little easier to. You put that on the tree, and then your arm drops down in there to go a little further. Supposed to. Yep. This one may be. I gotta tighten them up. Hang on just a second. This will take some getting used to on this one also, because it sticks off the tree a pretty good piece. But like I said, I think most of the time I'll be right here filming. You can swing it. You just have to know where the deer's coming out. Will help you. That's pretty cool right there. That's a solid deal. Need to ratchet her down just a little bit more. Of course, it'll be a lot better on a tree, but that thing's fancy. And boy, it's quiet. It gets out there pretty long. We'll have to study on that. Of course, I think that right there, if you got your bow hanging over here, deer's coming from that way, the deer camera right here. All right, I'm fixing to get this camera, the head, off this tripod and go ahead and get it on the camera arm and then put the camera on. Alright, so I got my head mounted on the arm. This is a super nice setup. I mean, it moves around and it's gonna be rock solid. It's a little big, but I think it'll be alright. I think when I do this, I want it mounted lower, like below my waist maybe, and I can film, and I kind of have a hard time sometime when I flip the viewfinder out with my bifocals and all seeing right. So I got some playing to do with that. That's a little loose there. I got to tighten that up. But, I'm fixing to grab the camera and set it up on there and show y'all what it looks like. Alright, so here's the setup with the camera. I mean, that is just about, this thing TV quality, it's just about too fancy for me. But, like I said, it sticks out a kind of a long way. I almost wish this thing was, I bet you I could unbolt this and just stick it down in there. And I may do that, I don't know. I got to study on it. But this son going here, it wouldn't creak on a tree. See how? I got to tighten it up. I'm fixing to lose it right there. Let me see if I can get it another. But this deal here, this is a fancy unit. Let me get it around here where I can show y'all a little better. But I mean, it'll be, I think I get it down about waist high to be a little better. This head on this thing is super smooth, and the quality of this camera is unbelievable. You can power it on and everything right here. It's a pretty neat little setup. I just got to practice with everything. A lot of this stuff we're fixing to do is very new to me, but it's going to work. That is a fancy camera for old redneck, ain't it? Alright, y'all, so just as I was talking about a pack, I ran over to check my mail and all, and this came in. This is the Eberlestock, guess that's how you say it, X2 pack. I saw a guy on YouTube that was saddle hunting with, I just took it out of the box, that was saddle hunting with one of these packs, and he had a big camera arm and all. This thing's, I usually don't like this, but this one's got a frame inside it. This is supposed to be a nice backpack. It's got, this is the part that goes around your waist. It's got pouches right there. This is my first look. Usually when I look at something, this is the way I do it with y'all. Alright, it's got these. The guy that I was fooling with or watching the other day had his camera arm in one of these long pouches here that I don't see X2 that unzips. So his camera arm was here, and this thing's made to where you can haul meat out and all and not mess your stuff up. I have to get into that in a minute. But anyway, he had his camera arm in this side, his camera head in this side, and he had his camera wrapped up in a little bag or something down in the main part, and then he had his he wore his saddle on his waist, and then had his Predator platform for the saddle inside here strapped up. And I think you could even put your bow back here also. I mean, this thing is, I'll undo it, I may not ever get it back together. It's got stuff going on and straps and stuff everywhere. This is gonna be nice, and as I get it set up and get it used to it, I will show y'all a little more. They had a brown, a tan, a camouflage. I like this kind of like an olive green or whatever, and it's soft too. It'll be quiet. This thing's nice. Got all kind of places. This thing's right. Alright, y'all, had a pretty good day today. Got the batteries changed and freshened in the hog trap. Now 3 of them is live and wired and baited and ready to go. Oh God, let's see, loggers is doing good. Dropped my bow off at Owen's Outfitters. Shot my other bow when we got home. Worked on the camera system, showed y'all that. Got 2 camera arms going. Just got to get in the woods. It's about all we lacking, getting used to using all this stuff. Anyway, about to call it a day. Appreciate y'all watching. Out of here.